but you'll notice that shift between you know, First Blood and First Blood 2 are kind of the same, and it really shifts for Rambo 3. It's I believe out of all of them, it is the most beautiful shot. Rambo 3 definitely has the best look to it. And then Rambo 4 comes back with the digital approach. I'm not sure what the approach was for Rambo 3, but I'll find out and I'll let you guys know. But it's a real big game changer from the look of First Blood and Rambo First Blood Part 2 to Rambo 3. And then in the future, from Rambo 3, shifts again to Rambo 4. Rambo 4, like I said, more digital, probably easier, and at the same time, easier also to add the blood effects and explosions that, you know, were fused on, the CGI elements that were fused on to the practical elements. But Rambo 3 definitely has like the beautifulest look I've ever seen. It very much reminds me of Sergio Leone, Once Upon a Time in the West, which is probably a tie between that film and Rambo 3 for, in my opinion, the most beautiful and elegant looking films of all time. Like, I just love the look on both those films. But we'll be getting to Rambo 3 soon enough. Now, speaking of David Morrell's return, I'll be brief because we're going to explore this, you know, over 2 hours of this when we reveal the David Morrell special this weekend. Definitely the cornucopia of RAMBOMANIA RAMBOMANIA the series as a whole so far. The Dream episode, the miniseries is yet to come, but for now we're dealing with the seasons. Probably the greatest milestone achievement ever for RAMBOMANIA, and ever for myself. It's a dream come true. It's like meeting your hero. In my point, it is meeting my hero. So yeah, this was phenomenal. So David Morrell was optioned to write the novelization for the sequel, because he's the only one with the right to write it, right? And what you have to realize is that in those days, novelization was very important for people who couldn't see the movie, or while they awaited the home video. And it was a lot cheaper than the video releases at that time, unless you were going to rent it. You know, you would also have to worry about, if you didn't get to watch it, you would have to pay a late fee, or you would be charged for the movie as a whole in some cases, if your machine ate it, or whatever the case may be. So it also increased sales as well for the franchise. And he didn't want to do it at first. He didn't like the script. He ended up doing it based on Cameron's original premise. They sent him some footage, and he was very surprised. And thus, within that, two things would happen. A, being he would take the movie in written form to soaring heights unimaginable and unfathomable to this very day. You know, way higher than what was focused on in the film. Makes it 10 times better. You know, it was #1 on the charts for a very long time. And B, he would go through the seemingly impossible task and mission of bringing Rambo back from the dead. So I really can't wait to discuss that with you guys, because it's coming up in just 2 days. But if you want to hear some, I got about 24 minutes. There's 6 clips. If you go back about 10 videos, you'll find them. And I highly urge you to do so, because it's fantastic. You know, just some fantastic teaser clips to whet your palate, because in a way, I kind of try to ask him things that I haven't heard before. There was a lot more things I was supposed to ask him, but I only had this time to ask him a couple of things. We may have him back in October, September or October, and we're going to do a 3-way with Wild Man Beyond and ask him the rest of the questions and try to go a little bit beyond regarding that. So that's That's excellent. Excellent stuff. It's just 2 days away. So tomorrow is Wildman, James Cameron discussion, and then we're going to go into literally 2 hours of, possibly 2.5 to 3 hours of the David Morrell. Just the David Morrell section alone is an hour. And, you know, we got the book review, the essay review. We're going to talk about bringing Rambo back from the dead. The unabridged versions, as well as the Kindle and the version for the hearing impaired. And like I said, Rambo First Blood Part 2, the novelization, aka Rambo of the Apes, is back for the first time in a long time. I think because the Kindle, the 1 year Kindle contract is over. I'm not quite sure how that works. I'm not going to say anything that I don't think I know for sure, but for the first time in a long time, that award-winning novelization and follow-up to First Blood will be available in stores. So look for it in bookstores this month, because this is definitely a book that if you're a Rambo fan and you have not read this book, then you're only getting 25% of the story. And that goes for the novelization for Rambo 3 and for First Blood. Well, I would say more for Part 3, because First Blood is a novel, not a novelization. As many are shocked to find out. But it's the truth. 10 years before the movie, and kicks the movie's ass. Let me just say that. Kicks that movie's ass. That, you know, is based on it. And, you know, but yeah. If you get a chance to read First Blood Part 2 and Rambo 3, pick it up for your Kindle, $5 or $6. I don't know how much it's going to be when it hits the stores. I think on unabridged it's like $20 or $30. It's about 8 hours each, 9 hours each, 7 hours each, somewhere in there, of reading or listening or however you want to do it. But it's definitely money well spent. And like I said, if you don't read them, you only got 25% of the character down. This will fuck you up. It will mess your head up. It's amazing. Briefly talking, going back to, you know, First Blood. You know, the movie First Blood is my favorite movie of all time. As you probably know, it's my favorite movie of all time. The novel is my favorite book of all time. But if they would have made that novel exactly how that novel was, with Sly and the rest of the cast, that would have been the greatest movie ever made, hands down. Because it's a lot, you know, taking for me to say that Rambo, well, that First Blood is my favorite movie. But the book kicks the movie's ass. So by me saying that, you can only see that there's a reason why this is one of the best-selling novels of all time. Why it's never gone out of print. Why, you know, it's just a phenomenon. It was taught in schools, you know. Check your history. Read up on it. You'll see it. It's well worth it. And for people who've never read these books, you know, oh my God, it's like stepping into another world, man. Let me tell you, it's just wow. It awakens your mind so much. The level of professionalism in here, and you can, you know, get it in Kindle, delivered to you in less than a minute. You can get all three books for I believe under $18 or just over $18. And you know, it's about 24 hours to read all three. Would probably take about 24 hours, and you get to explore 24 hours, and most of it is never seen before stuff. So really think about that next time you're in the bookstore or on Kindle. So this weekend we're gonna explore that book in question, Rambo First Blood 2, the novelization, aka Rambo of the Apes, with David Morrell himself. He will be here to promote the book, and he will be here to give us a lot of insight and just talk our fantasies and talk about you know, some of the questions we had, and oh my God, it's just not. I could just go on all day talking about how amazing this is, but we're out of time. we're like actually 11 minutes over the time for the time of today. We gotta keep the schedule, so I'm gonna start closing it off. But David Morrell himself will be here, so please stay tuned. Coming up next, we're gonna talk James Cameron's The Mission script with Isaiah Harrison, aka Wild Man Beyond. You don't want to miss that. We've had so much fun on this one, and I can't wait to share it with you. It's about it's a little under 2.5 hour discussion. It's really great, and stay tuned to David Morrell on Saturday on RAMBOMANIA, the 2.5 hour special, and we're going all out, man. We're talking about everything, and extra thank you to David Morrell and to Isaiah for being on the show this week. So thank you all for watching. RAMBOMANIA would be nothing without you, and you make all the difference. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, and until then, here's all the Rambo trivia, and then after that, next week we'll be back to review the movie, and a little Expendables special coming up within the next 2 weeks too. And we have Mike Chapman. Yes, Mike Chapman himself is going to be here to talk about many, many, many things, especially his new movie, The Hooligan Factory. We're going to give you a little depth into the little peek into the Rambo 3D that's in the works, and we just had a really, really great time. And that's a really extended interview. It's between 2 and 4 hours. And thank you, Mike, for coming on the show. And we're going to have him on when we talk about the boot cut that he sent us of Rambo First Blood Part 2, the televised print. And we're also going to play you a little deleted scene from Rambo First Blood Part 2 that was, for some reason, never on any of the DVDs or in any of the deleted footages, and you can't even find it on YouTube. So we're going to bring it to you. It's going to be the first time it's going to air on YouTube. Or possibly on the internet, because I've tried to hunt it down, and I could never find it. I thought I was imagining seeing it from when I was a little kid. So, you guys are going to be treated to the wonderful halo jump scene. And I've noticed that a lot of photographs from that scene, and the scene after it that was also taken out of Rambo First Blood Part 2, has started surfacing online. So, stay tuned. RAMBOMANIA will return tomorrow with Isaiah Harrison, aka Wild Man Beyond. Thank you again. And we're going to talk James Cameron's The Mission script. So take care, and I'll see you in about 2,400 hours. And God bless. Love you guys. Have a good one. Enjoy.